The CDC's policy development process includes 5 steps with 3 overarching themes: problem identification, policy analysis, strategy and policy development, policy enactment. The 3 overarching themes include interested party engagement, education, and evaluation. The first step, problem identification, includes collecting, summarizing, and interpreting relevant information, as well as defining the gaps in the data surrounding your issue or problem. You're going to research policy options in the second step relevant to your problem, and you would range between 3 to 4 potential policy options to move forward. During that process, you prioritize your options and include the policy analysis process by developing a proposal and beginning to look for strategies around how to enact your policy. Next, you engage interested parties, from leadership to community organizations who may be impacted by your policy, who would like to speak to your policy, and for those who could be in opposition of your policy. You want to engage all communities and ensure everyone has a voice at the table. Next, once you have the options for enactment, you use policy levers to implement the policy. Finally, you want to begin to evaluate if your policy is effective. The questions you may ask during that process is, does a policy have explicit goals in addressing any issues that you identify? Does the policy address equity? As well as, does this policy include those impacted, and is their voice at the table? There are 4 sessions throughout the Policy Academy. The first session includes problem identification and interested party engagement. During this session, you will identify the root issue of the policy and problem you would like to address, and as well as any interested parties or potential opposition for your policy. The second is policy analysis. During this process, you look to 3 to 4 options of potential policies and means of enactment. The third session includes strategy and policy development and policy enactment. This session includes understanding how to implement your policy, who is impacted by your policy, and what are the next steps to ensure your policy sustainability. Finally, the fourth session is implementation and evaluation. This session focuses on if your policy is effective and being maintained. As an example of boundary spanning leadership, we take a look at the state of Utah and its efforts to reduce tobacco use. The Utah Department of Health cultivated strong relationships with community organizations within the state. Leaders from the department's Tobacco Prevention and Control Program foster connections by engaging its Department of Health Executive Director in critical outreach and education related to youth electronic cigarette use. Additionally, the governor supported policies to reduce e-cigarette or vaping among Utah youth. In this example, we take a look at the direction, alignment, and commitment across boundaries and how each level was able to enact a policy to support the reduction of tobacco use.
Boundary spanning leadership is a practice. We endeavor to train participants to take advantage of this skill set, a tool to not only address specific programmatic areas around maternal child health, even eliminating structural racism, that they may be able to advance health equity, but to utilize this as a practice in all human-centered design engagement. And so it's definitely a social process. We hope that they will remember how important it is in every new endeavor or a group that they've not been a part of before, or a team, that they take the time to manage those boundaries and then shift from there, not stay there, but begin to forge common ground as quickly as they possibly, or they feel comfortable doing, and that could lead, or they could land at discovering new frontiers. So those are the three strategies, and those are the strategies that creates direction, alignment, and commitment. And most of all, we want them to remember that it's not static. So in their practice, not to get tired in their need and the importance of reestablishing that direction, alignment, and commitment, utilizing the strategies and the tactical skills that we were able to share through training.